delicious beverage?
Duh. And welcome to another exciting episode of Allison and Marc podcast, the Married in Media podcast.
Do you know that the Allison and Marc in Media, married? Okay, take two. Did you know that the Allison and Marc podcast, Married in Media? Let me tell you what it's all about.
Yes,
because I'm sure you're new. I'm sure we have so many new folks checking us out today. So we are two Gen X media pros who have 3 grown daughters.
Yes.
Oh, Lord. And two shelter pups. And we talk about everything here from politics to pop culture, a little bit of humor and a whole lot of love and a sprinkling of history just because.
Well, speaking of history, we got a packed show tonight, babe. Speaking of history, Carl with a K
Thank you,
joins
Valerie.
us again. Carl with a K is in the building.
How you guys doing?
So, Carl, you last week was the first time we really got a chance to see you, and you put us to the test.
Yeah, and I failed miserably.
Yeah, so,
I'm not gonna say it.
So, Carl with a K, let's go ahead and get it popping, man. Give us 3 questions tonight. Let's hop in here, and of course, the chat is willing to chime in as people are joining us now. So, Carl, first of all, how did the week go last week?
And thank you, Valerie Jones, for sharing.
Okay.
The hashtag shared. So that's what we need. All right.
I'm sorry. What were you saying, Marc?
Yeah, how'd it go, man? How did we go last week? Like, you do trivia on Monday.
Yes.
So how was Monday? How was your Monday trivia last week?
Monday was good. We concluded our awards with doing all movies, Black trivia on movies. So I got a couple of questions from that, as well as some more historical. But since we're in, I want to conclude my awards that night. But since we are in Women's History Month, today is all going to be about women.
Love it. Love that.
And Carl, again, for people who want to follow you, how do they follow you?
You can follow me on Facebook, Black Trivia Network, YouTube, Black Trivia Network, or you can look under Soul Trivia, which is the actual name of the game, Soul Trivia, Black History Game, and the Black Trivia Network is the umbrella company. All
right, well, let's get it started.
All right, I put the first one in your box, in the chat box.
Oh.
What Cicely Tyson and what other actress were nominated for Best Actress in the same year? Was it Diane Carroll, Diana Ross, or Ruby Dee?
I'll say Diana Ross.
I'm going to say Ruby Dee.
You're going to say Ruby Dee? Then you should definitely listen to your wife, Marc. In 1972, Diana Ross for Lady Sings the Blues. Cicely Tyson for Sounder.
Okay.
It happened again almost 50 years later when Viola Davis and Andra Day were both nominated for Best Actress.
Wow. Andra Day for the Billie Holiday thing. And
so if you the bottom line here is if you play Billie Holiday,
you can get nominated for an award.
Right.
Exactly. That's it exactly.
All right. Okay.
All right. Number 2, a little bit of HBCU. Founded as the Atlanta Baptist Female Seminary, Spelman College was renamed after the wife of what prominent businessman? Was it John Rockefeller, Andrew Carnegie, or J.P. Morgan?
Rockefeller.
J.P. Morgan.
Okay. All right. That's a copy and paste. Okay. So who'd you say?
I said Rockefeller.
Okay.
I said J.P. Morgan.
Once again, Marc, listen to the wife.
Well, I always do. Well, almost
just-
always.
You know what?
1884,
Yeah.
the name changed to Spelman Seminary in honor of Mrs. Laura Spelman Rockefeller and her parents, who were very involved with activists in the anti-slavery movement.
And how do you feel about that?
Well, and I just looked this up just to see where all these names come from, because this is such a huge topic right now, like changing names to reflect the population that is current and that it serves today. And so I just happened to know about Rockefeller, also Morehouse, sort of a similar thing too. So
Yes.
yeah.
The HBCUs are basically named after prominent white founders.
People who gave money and got this thing together. So, you know,
I mean, I went to Howard and it was named after a general. So
yeah. And I went to Hampton and it was not named after the general Chapman, who was, I think it was Chapman. Lord, that's my Hampton history. So Hampton was the town instead. So yeah. Okay. Well, anyway,
shout out to Tuskegee.
All right. And last but not least, we're gonna have a little bit of sports trivia. In what sport did Donna Cheek become the first Black woman to represent the United States on a national team? Was it the U.S. equestrian team, the U.S. diving team, or the U.S. fencing team?
Now, I have to say, I'm pretty good at trivia. I've never heard this name before. So you are stumping me tonight, young man.
Donna Cheek. Let me see. What would I?
I'm going to say equestrian.
It'll be a guess for me. I'll say I'll just be contrary. I'll say the fencing.
All right, Mark, you're up one.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, finally.
In 1981, she became the first African American to compete for the United States equestrian team. She racked up a host of honors, including becoming the first equestrian to be inducted into the Women's Sports Hall of Distinction in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay.
So as you can see, my trivia expands a whole plethora of topics.
Yes,
that's right.
Now, Carl, permission to steal that, because on WUSA 9, I'm writing I made a commitment. One day we started with the first day of Black History Month, the fast fact that what we call the hub or the station group sent down. Literally the first one for the first day was whatever, in 1860, was it 3 or 1? Abraham Lincoln wrote the Emancipation Proclamation, literally, that freed the slaves. And I'm like, oh, no, this history, we're not doing this. So I took it upon myself to add a little context to them. So permission to steal Donna Cheek for tomorrow for Women's History Month on Channel 9?
More than welcome. I have I've done this for every year. I do a women's history trivia. So I have about a couple hundred questions.
Okay.
So,
you got the plug, baby. You got the plug.
I got my old boss in there too. So
okay.
Miss Hughes.
Miss Hughes.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, Carl, always great seeing you. Thank you, man. Thank you. Carl's a regular contributor on the podcast, and as it grows, he will grow too. So make sure you go follow Carl and doing what he's doing. That's Carl with a K, by the way.
That's Carl with a K. Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right. Appreciate you.
Take care, man. And again, we have a show for. Wait a minute. Okay, Sandra's in the house. Hey, family.
Hey.
The King George, Virginia is also in the house. A packed show tonight, babe. Shout out to everybody's checking in. We had a great event. We went to a great event at the Point in DC.
Yes, we did.
And we are going to do the show from the Point. So everybody get ready. We expect y'all to come join us at the Point. We're going to tell you when. We'll give you a couple weeks and then maybe a month, and then we're going to do it. Brandy's in the house, babe.
Oh, hello, girlfriend. Hi, Brandy.
And so, babe, we were looking at some old videos, and we had a feature called the Petty Report, and so I wanted to bring the Petty Report back. Can I do the Petty Report?
Yes, and I think I know what it's going to be.
History was a little light, but so Petty Report is, and again, Petty Report is
Corey.
The ridiculousness that we see online or wherever. It's not serious. It's just having a little fun, but it is petty. First one I had to laugh at, I saw AJ. AJ from whatever group he was in, the Backstreet Boys.
Okay.
Why did AJ look like?
This is AJ from the Backstreet Boys, and these are my favorite DSP songs for every mood.
AJ.
Getting ready for a night on the town.
AJ looked like Cat Williams, and I was like, what is going on? So, of course, we talked about this, babe.
Yeah.
Now, you know, I love me some Shannon Sharp, okay? I
This
said
man, if I'm looking for Mark in the house, he is in front of the YouTube machine looking at either Club Shay Shay or whatever else.
Yeah, so of course
Club
he got
Shay Shay.
dragged.
What's the other one? Unkin.
You got Club Shay Shay.
Unkin Cinco.
You got Unkin Ocho.
Unkin Ocho.
And then he also, you know, on I guess traditional television, he's with Stephen A. Smith.
All right.
So of course he got dragged getting out of the truck, heading to a signing.
My man wear a two-piece or a twin suit.
So it looked a little something like this.
Here's the final stop of the day. Total wines to the line. Started over there. My last stop of the day. We got up early, had a late night. We don't do excuses here. We just get the job done. Because this one we signed up for.
Bow-legged and bow-hipped. Okay, so Shannon got, now you know what's so funny?
Doing it. I don't care what none of y'all haters say.
Having
that
daughters.
That is a cute outfit, and I would wear that as well.
It's great, and having daughters is so funny. So a lot of, you know, they started calling him gay, right? So they started calling him gay, and babe, I laughed because I didn't laugh, but I thought it was interesting to be. He's 55, so he's in our age group, right?
Yeah.
So to be that age, I can imagine. And then my daughters would be cracking on me on a whole bunch of stuff, especially if I wore tight outfits. But the part two of it is
cousin Vivi's in the building.
Vivi's in the house.
Okay.
She says she finally got the pocket.
Yeah.
But the part two of it is he's in great shape to be 55 too. But he's also a 55-year-old man who played in the NFL, so you can see the hips and the pigeon-toedness and all that kind of stuff got cracked on. Now this right
I
here,
think he looks good.
But the part that's interesting, I thought it was funny, but also kind of sad. He's talking to Ocho, and he was like, "Hey man, you know, I don't care about calling me gay, right?
Right.
I don't care about it because, like my grandmama always said, why would you chase a lie?" But But the part that got me though, he said when your kids, because I can imagine your kids start calling his daughter also is in med school.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they call him like, "Dad, what is all this gay stuff about?" Yeah. And he's like, "I don't know," because a lot of the comedians were calling that. And, you know, I guess it's a little tight outfit. But I think this one probably is the funniest one because, you know, there are memes, there's jokes.
Oh, and people have been replicating it.
Yes. This one I think was probably the funniest one, if I'm honest.
Ooh. I'm gonna boo the hip hops. You know how we do. Back in Happy Tasting Tuesdays. As you know, it's your host with the most. You know, it's Big Shay, not the little ones. But you know how we do. It's a beautiful, blessed mornings. We are blessed. We woke up, so we had nothing to be stressed about. We had Total Wines and Moors. Here to drop off a little virtuosos, some of our reports that we are doing. Today's we have some fan love. We just dropping in, putting some blessings in your hearts. Also, you see the drip. Green on green, the neon, the Ninja Turtle, orange, can't forget about the bag, got a little off-whites. Shout out to my go-getters out there, shout out to my playmakers out there. We always gonna put on for the naysayers and the haters out there. Those who can't talk, those who talk will do. So we walk when we're talking and we bossing up every days. You know, late nights, early mornings. Well, we don't complain. We just don't make excuses. And you already know we're going to do something before do something. New heights, new stratospheres, new atmospheres. You know what it is. Big deuces, big drip. You see it.
What's the walk?
You know, that's just what we do. That's just what we do.
And then watch the pigeon toe.
How you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
Oh, man. Terrible. And you know who the real winner is, right? Total Wine.
Oh, Total Wine.
Total Wine. Total Wine is getting all the advertisements. Yeah.
Oh,
well, you know what?
Man.
Okay.
So y'all leave. I need to quit playing with Shay Shay. Y'all need to quit playing. So okay.
Yeah, he's laughing all the way to the bank. He's fine.
Shannon.
And I love that outfit.
And
I'm sure it cost $5,000.
Oh, come on now.
Yeah.
And so the now another Risa Tisa Risa Tisa, there was a controversy. I'm not playing that clip, babe, because there's a certain show that we do not play on our show. Right, babe?
I don't know what show.
You know the show.
Oh, okay.
The show that had you on there years ago wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so this was in the end of the day, Charlemagne on the show basically called, he did not call Risa Tisa a big back, which, by the way, I would not be aware of the comment except by having the kids, because that's the new way of calling people fat, a big back. And so he said big back behavior. But anyway, it's
that's what he said.
He didn't know. Ooh. Just what the mess was telling a story. He didn't even know. He had never seen her before.
Stop. There's no excuse. Okay.
Yeah. So he just said it sounds like big back behavior. Anyway, it spun out, and so it became a thing. But like you say, talk about laughing all the way to the bank. She mentioned this on the show, but she just signed with CAA.
Okay.
She decided, and we
knew
something was going to happen.
She's an excellent storyteller. She should get everything that's coming to her. She did have to. People were saying, like, because supposedly the guy, what did she call him again? Legion. The ex basically was faking that he had some VP position, and then people were like, "Well, you should have known, because a VP wouldn't date somebody who or marry somebody who looked like you're not." Come on, like, what are we even talking about? So good. Get all your money, sis. And I think she has a sweet spirit. I think that's why people really attach themselves to that. If you're not sure what we're talking about, Risa Tisa did a 50-part series on what's it called? TikTok that blew up.
Yes.
She's been on, I believe she was on with Robin Roberts, Good Morning America. She was on with Tamron Hall. And so it's like when we see what's going on in the social media world come on to like this traditional media, and everybody's trying to get her for these top-rated daytime shows and morning shows. So she's doing it. So whatever. Don't ever talk about somebody's weight. Period.
That's right.
Don't ever do it.
And so now that was the petty report, babe.
Okay.
Now in a serious piece, I wanted to get your take on this. So Roland Martin was talking about it. Emmitt Smith has come out. Florida is getting rid of DEI, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion. Yes.
Can we go back to one of the things that you said before we get serious?
Yes.
Because Brandy pointed out that you said bow-legged and bow-hipped.
Bow-legged and bow-hipped.
Hipped on Shannon Sharpe. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, that's what I meant. That's
so
what I
he's
meant.
getting rid of
if
diversity.
Shannon is watching this. Yes, he's getting rid of in Florida.
Shannon Sharpe.
Yes, he's getting rid of diversity, equity, and inclusion at Florida. And so obviously all schools in Florida. And so Emmitt Smith, former star and NFL legend, had something to say.
Football Hall of Famer Emmitt Smith, the NFL's leading rusher for his career, dropped the bombshell blasting his alma mater for firing all of their DEI employees. Now, remember, the state of Florida banned DEI across all state institutions, and Emmitt Smith was not having any of it. He dropped this statement right here. Emmitt said, quote, come on, guys, thank you. I'm utterly disgusted by UF's decision and the precedent that it sets. Without the DEI department, the job falls to the office of the provost, who already has their hands full to raise money for the university and continue to advance the academic studies and athletic program.
And so Roland goes on to say he hopes that athletes like Emmitt stand up and send a message, because these colleges, all they care about really is the money and winning. And so if the athletes decide, if the parents decide, hey, you're not going to Florida, you're not going to play in Florida, these states that are trying to do this, it can have a huge impact. Now, are we there yet? Will people do it? I don't know, but I do love what Emmitt Smith said. And it just, whatever the game that Florida's playing is very, very heartbreaking, and it's serious times, man. And what's up, Sheridan? And it's serious times, and it's really like these programs are under attack. Obviously, what I was thinking about, babe. I think a lot of people don't really understand. I think how things work, how hiring works in America, how there are systems in America. We talked about this before. I don't think people really understand how when you talk about these programs, right? Programs really run America. And so you know, we're at the age where we remember, we're not that old, but the generation right before us, they were the first beneficiary of a lot of the EEOC programs and also the DEI programs. And what people don't realize is
diversity, equity, inclusion.
What people don't realize is if those programs went in place, most of the leadership, African-American leadership in corporate America and in education, period, would not be there. When left on, you know, that was there. Basically, if you don't force it, sadly, if you don't force inclusion, it doesn't happen. And I hate to say that, but that's just fact.
Well, I think what it is just these companies or institutions or whatever. You have to have a conscience.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because now what we've seen is, and we only talk about a little bit of politics on the show because it's just too much, but we've seen the Supreme Court strike down any sort of affirmative action when it comes to college entrance and applications and all that stuff too, right? And so these DEI offices, again, diversity, equity, and inclusion, I know you all know what that is, but you really have to have someone who gives a damn about it, right?
Yes.
And that comes in all colors, because you know you can have people in place who are, in this case, let's say Hispanic, but don't really see the need to, you know, I'm colorblind, I don't see. So you need somebody, whoever it is, white, black, green, purple, who understands that diversity is so wonderful for your companies, for your college campuses, you need that. And now that's being that's taken away. But I think that right after that ruling, we saw a lot of these companies or whatever get rid of the diversity offices
definitely.
because you didn't need it. And let me tell you something. Here's how I feel about it. We are not that far yet as a society. That we're born in 1966. We just did we're looking at the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama. That was like, what was that, like 2 years before 64, Bloody Sunday? I need to look at the date. So fact check me if I'm wrong on that. This is 2 years before but we're not that far away from these huge milestones that are trying to get us to a more inclusive society. And so I don't understand. I just don't understand why we are so impatient as a society, but we also say in the same turn, forget about the past. That was the past.
No,
what are you worried about? That was like literally 60 years ago.
Yes.
And sometimes I see legislation or these cases in 1970 in these places or whatever, well within our lifetime. So I just, but you need a conscience. And I think that we all need to get out and vote. You need to get out and vote for people who and I don't care, whatever, you need to vote for people who understand that the sheer numbers of it, I can speak for the African-American population, around 13% of the nation. The sheer numbers don't match up. You can't just leave it up to chance.
No.
You can't just leave it up to chance. So I'm sad about Florida because I love Florida. I think it's just a beautiful state. We've had so many good times in Florida. But at the end of the day, I have to think, why am I going to Florida?
Oh yeah, I think right now,
going to Florida?
I think right now, I definitely would not. I would not do anything in Florida, including I think the Black Film Festival is coming. I say
a prayer because we talk about this all the time. I love this country. This is my country. I'm here to make this thing better. This is where my family is. This is where I've been for however many. Like I can go back like 5 generations, whatever. You know what I mean? So I want to see us be the nation that I know that we can be. All the pieces are in place, but things keep chipping away at it. It's almost like one step forward, chip away.
Well,
and it's frustrating. So yeah, I agree.
Well, and I'm sorry, babe. I have been just pushing up all the stuff I want to talk about. I have one more thing. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, my man was down here you came home today from work. Came right down into the lab. Now the lab is our basement. This is our little room in the basement. You can see the green screen, and you were doing your thing. So go ahead.
So this
is your show.
Y'all help me with this because it could fall flat because I'm definitely a very philosophical babe, right? Mm-hmm. Only child just sitting around thinking about stuff, right? So back to Risa Tisa, right?
Risa Tisa,
for those who pretty much everybody knows what we're talking about. The young lady who did the 50 TikTok episodes.
Yes.
And so basically talking about who
TF
did I marry?
TF.
And so
TF did I marry?
this is what she said. I was driving home thinking about this, babe. I said, she said Legion, her husband, fake name, exploited her wants and needs by showing her beautiful homes, test driving expensive cars, knowing that was not her lifestyle, and it seduced and intrigued her, right? And I think, I think she was kind of saying, coming from where I come from and being, almost like the kind of girl that I am, this is how she felt, right? And I just made me think about people and the feeling of growing up and feeling like you don't deserve something, or you haven't, or you haven't experienced something, so you don't think it could be possible for you.
Mm-hmm.
And what I thought about was, I said I didn't grow up with this, but I did see friends and relatives who had it coming up. But I have to say, I never felt that I could not experience things. People say, well, Barack Obama gave black people you could be president. I never felt I could not be president.
Mm-hmm.
I never felt I could not land the most beautiful girl in the world. I never felt I could not be rich. But what do most people feel, though? Do people feel that way? I'm asking you, chat. Did you grow up feeling like you could not achieve things, or could not have nice things, or you did not deserve nice things? I was curious because I think this happens to a lot of women, regardless of shape, size, whatever. I think being sold the fantasy, being sold this, and then almost like, oh, I didn't think I could da-da-da-da-da. So, chat, I asked you that, babe. Did you ever feel like you could not have whatever you thought you wanted in your life?
No, but here's the thing. I think that she did say that was at the last episode for me, and she wrapped it up, and she said that at the end of the day he was manipulative because she was like, I was a girl who grew up on welfare, and he saw that, so he dangled these things in front of me, and that's what happened. You know what I mean? And it was. That's a whole nother level. He has definite issues, but he took pleasure from seeing her disappointment at that, knowing that he was never going to fulfill that for her. So, what I loved about the series and why I think it resonates with so many people is because she understood that fully about herself. Now, here is a woman who was at the beginning, she was in her own townhouse. You know what I mean? Yeah. She had her jobby job. She was doing it in Atlanta. And that's another thing. So she wasn't, saying, well, I never she had dreams. She knew she wanted to go to Paris and London. I think that's what it was. She wanted the BMW with the, with the cognac seats. So she knew that there was something outside of, her block, if you will, or her circumstances. So that's what makes her so attractive. But I think that, manipulators or people who are abusive, they see that little crack and that weakness, and they try to prey on that. And I think that's where a lot of people sadly go wrong. No, that was not my experience.
Because I was going to say,
coming up,
because it
wasn't my experience.
They can't, as I tell our daughters all the time, they can't exploit it unless you allow them to. Mm-hmm. And so let's see. Calvin says,
Randy's in there.
Sky's the limit. Jerry, I didn't grow up this way. My father said you can be whatever you want as long as you work hard. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that was definitely a theme. He took advantage of her insecurities.
Yeah, scammer. That's what scammers do.
No, but I do believe what I have obtained can be taken from me. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting, Mark. Raymond, I always felt I can get anything I try to get. Yeah. Randy, oh Lord, that's me. Grew up with so much of nothing. Had a very traumatic. Okay. Randy makes us emotional. As a child, didn't understand why God let it happen. Right? I failed marriage, not to mention, I'm not the smartest, so cooking always been treated like crap. So I feel all this. And so that is, sadly, Brandy, that is the recipe for somebody to exploit when you feel that less than.
But here's the kicker. Here's the kicker, Brandy. You know that, and this is for Brandy, who I've again, we talk about it every week because Brandy she's a rider. Brandy be in this room when we come on, right? But here's the thing. Here's the thing about you, Brandy, and everybody who might feel this way. We've never met, but there's something that is so pure and loving about your spirit that it reached out of this phone and social media, and it reverberated all the way to wherever I was. And so I know all the people who love you are, and this is for everybody. I'm talking to Brandy, but this is for everybody. So even if, and Brandy has said this a couple, I'm not the smartest and this and that. Guess what? That who is, first of all, but secondly, that never, ever, ever was even a thought in my mind or played into my mind. It's just your sweet, loving spirit. So everybody out there who might be feeling that way and feeling less than, or maybe I really don't deserve this love, you know, you do. Yes. And I'm here to tell you that, for one, I love you. So, and I'm one person. And so it's just like, for everybody out there, all you can do is be the best person that you can do and be, rather. And don't let anybody can walk all over you, and don't let anybody tell you what you cannot be and do and whatever. And that the first sign that you see that, get your ass up out of there, because it doesn't get any better. And it doesn't get any better.
And quit saying that, Brandy, and work on you. Because you are more than that, you know what I mean? But it's a feeling. It's how you feel.
And I get it. No, and I get it. And it's how, that's what I'm saying. And it's not to put Brandy on spot or anything, but just speaking like if Brandy or anybody had said, yeah, you know, I grew up with this confidence and I knew that I was the bomb when I walked in and everybody wanted to be my friend. I would be like, I feel that. That could be the narrative or the other narrative, because how people receive you is not sometimes how the narrative that you've written for yourself. So keep being wonderful.
Kevin says, I grew up a dreamer. I look for opportunities that would provide me the pathway to success. Yet my level of success was not material, but my ability to overcome my situation.
That's it.
Yes.
It's not what it is. It's how you deal with it. It's how you get through it. And
Amen.
I don't like Winston Churchill, but I love one of his quotes. He said, if you're going through hell, just keep going. So here it is. It's my journey. I'm in hell right here. Yes. What am I going to do? Am I going to turn around, try to go back? Am I going to freeze? No, I'm going to keep going through it. So, yeah.
I love it.
Cookie, and shout out to Cookie. Did we, Mayor for Life's birthday was today or was it yesterday? Shout out to the Mayor for Life, Marion Barry. Happy heavenly birthday to you. I saw that on your Instagram.
Counseling helps thousands in places. December, January is in the Caribbean. That's what I'm impressed. So God. Okay, amen. Yeah, therapy definitely does work. And
here's what my thing is too. I was talking to one of our girls about this and a wider community too. And if you feel lonely, if you feel like whatever, there's always somebody who can benefit from your time and just talking like that. I think that there are numbers that you can call or what. There's a whole. I never know if it's a multi-level marketing thing, but just if you need to talk to somebody, there's a phone number or an app, you can just talk to somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes so you can always be something to someone else and it makes you just feel better too.
She's giving you some love, babe.
Oh, thank you, Keisha. He would have been 88. Yep. Let me see now. So my father, Cookie, and all my DC folks. So my dad worked with Marion Barry back.
Oh, this is our Cookie.
Yeah, way back when we got to DC when I was 4 years old. I think the timing adds up at Pride. And the late Marion Barry, Mayor for Life, DC, and my dad went to the same high school.
How crazy is that?
Right, in Memphis, Tennessee, although he was originally from Mississippi, and I'm trying to remember the name of the town. It's Sabina, I think, Mississippi. And every time I saw Marion Barry through the years, he would always say, "Hey, how's your father doing?"
I love it.
Yeah. So, so I have a love for him too.
Allison met my husband in the store.
Okay.
Love y'all too.
Okay. What's up? What else is on your agenda? That was a good question. Yeah, you gotta. That's why I love Risa Tisa. She stands for so many people who, have been through it, and I love that she's getting her flowers right now. Oh, let's talk about this deep fake picture before we get out of here. What time is it? How are we doing on our time today?
We're good.
Okay.
All right.
So y'all, we need to watch out for these. We are in deep training in the news business right now to spot these AI deep fake pictures.
So babe, I'm going to show you the picture and then show it, and then I'll come back and we'll, because I don't know if you can talk it on this side.
Okay.
Let me see. We'll see if we can still have audio. Okay, so can y'all hear us? I think you can hear us. Yes. So this picture here, babe, you were saying, what do you need to look out for?
This picture is fake. And this has been a news story today. So with AI, there's some distinct things that you can look at to see. Sometimes like AI can't get the errors right. I want you to look at my man with the blue top on up top, like he doesn't have the bottom half of his ear, right? Also, sometimes like they have too many teeth or what have you. Now, I want you to look at former presidents Trump's left hand. He's missing a digit on that index finger.
Powerful
right
finger.
there, right? And AI also can't do hands right. They're not that advanced yet. So there are ways to spot these images, but I think the average person, when you see images like this, and you have the other one too, you just think, okay, all right, that's a real image. Okay, so there are little thing and like these two. Now, sometimes teeth look like this, but the two sisters flanking the former President Trump, not the lady with the red hat on, but the lady in the red and the blue, like the teeth don't look right, right? And so it's a little tells about
it looks
things.
pretty tight now. Oh,
Well,
look
yeah.
at this. Look at his digit.
Yeah, no digit. So look at the
Right
lady,
here.
right? The lady in the blue top to the left of Trump. Look at the man; he's missing a whole ring finger right there. So they're just little things, and the different expression. These are fake images, right? Now, last time around with this, looks like. Okay, Nikki Haley dropped out of the race for the Republican nomination, right? For this election coming up in November. So it looks like it's going to be pretty much Trump versus Biden again, right? Yeah, these are fake like it just looks like they photoshopped a whole bunch of people in there. But yeah, the teeth are different. See, fake videos. Oh boy. So yeah. So these are artificially intelligence generated issues. How do you say AI? Just AI generated issues. So this is going on right now, but we're laughing about it now. But
it's scary.
So here's the thing. So last time around, and again, we don't talk that much politics, but it looks like we're getting into it a little. We're getting into it. The last time around, they were saying that there might have been some interference from foreign agents, and we were talking about Russia back then with the last election. Yeah. This time, that's not necessarily Trump's campaign, but it is Trump, whatever supporters or groups here in the United States, generating this, trying to court the black vote. So, I ain't telling you how to vote, but I am saying that these images are fake. Whenever you see something this time around, just look at it with double check the source, look at it. It says, yeah, so those images are around today, and a lot of articles about them being falsely generated. Yeah, so that's
Babe, we have an Ask Allison, baby. Before we get out of here.
Sure, let's do it.
We have an Ask Allison before we get out of here.
All right.
We haven't had one in quite some time now.
Let's do it.
All right, Ask Allison.
Isn't that crazy, Raymond?
All right. Dear Ask Allison, my son is 35 and lives at home.
Okay.
Can't keep a job. Has very few friends. My husband insists we should kick him out of the house, but I can't do it. He is my baby. What should I do? 35.
You said he doesn't have a job?
Doesn't have a job. Doesn't have any friends.
Yeah. It's not. The funny thing is now, like that question, however many years ago.
Hold on, babe. Hold on. We got to give you the.
Thank you for being a friend. Now it's time to ask Allison.
The music. Yeah, I think now there are just so many other factors going on. Like this whole thing is just after COVID. We're coming up on, what is it, 4 years on the anniversary of COVID, like March. One of the girls just reminded me, like March 13th, everything kind of shut down. I think that did a number on people. I think that mental health is real. So it's not just like, okay, you're a deadbeat, blah, blah, blah. There's so many more factors that come into it. Yeah. And I think that like at 35, there's not a whole lot that you can really do.
That's a grown man right there.
It's a grown man, but if they need that support or whatever, I'm not saying financially, or I'm not saying just let them live in the house. What I'm saying is, that there's free therapy. Something is not right. Like, I think that a person normally doesn't want to be with their parents at 35 years old. So I don't, it's a hard, it's a hard dilemma, but I just would, yeah, it would be hard for me to have my 35-year-old. And is it a gender thing? Like, would it be hard for us to have our daughter here at 35?
Not at all. You can stay
see?
as long as you want to, honey.
Right. So
our son, get out of here.
Right. Because
No,
because
I've learned. I was raised by a single Black woman who said, "Oh, you going to college? Because if not, you paying rent." And I'm like, I'm paying rent in this little ghetto house.
And you said,
"Oh, I'm not.
I'm going into the Marines." Didn't you say that?
I did say that.
Yeah.
But anyway, no. So remember when we first got together? Well, I don't know business. But anyway, yes, I looked at it differently because I came from a single struggle Black woman background. That at the end of the day, if you didn't have a job, if you didn't have that, you're out of the house.
Right.
You're not staying in this house. But now, what I realize, if you have a home and it's not really a financial burden, really, it's really just a philosophical burden. Yeah, philosophical burden. It's a different thing. It's it's almost like it's a different thing. And even, dads are going to say that, boy, you need to get out of this house. But it's almost like there's a part of you inside that will be, with my son's 35 and is not ambitious at all. Something's wrong.
Something right.
And so I think, I would be,
point. Like,
it would be hard I look at it differently than I did. And that's something else that's interesting about life. When you are struggling, you look at everything differently.
Mm-hmm.
We're all fighting. If you ain't fighting, get out. But if you're not all struggling, you look at everything, every perspective changes.
Things are expensive. Times are hard. I think a lot of people are going through, society is kind of in a weird spot right now.
Yeah.
I think that there's so many things that could come into play. I mentioned, is there, is it depression? Brandy said, what about anxiety? These things are real. And it's hard. Like, it might look on the surface like, okay, he's 35, get out. And yes, that's what we all want. We all want our kids to be out and thriving and doing all this. But really, if it really came down to it, would I really say, you've got to go? I don't know.
I wouldn't. So I'm a different man. I wouldn't.
I think so. For the person who asked that, I think you need to really check off those boxes. And I think that, the different ideologies, is hard in the house. If you feel one way and I feel one way, ultimately you want them to launch, but I don't know. I just couldn't kick my child out of the house. That's me. Me.
Veronica hit us with some the Bible now. Come on now, Veronica, come with the Bible verse now. Yeah, this is the man that if you were not work, neither should you eat. Okay, see, that's Veronica, old school. That's like, we don't work, don't eat.
Well,
be tearing up. Why the person that ain't working be tearing up the refrigerator?
Well, there is something too. Like you got to figure it out. My sweetheart, you got to, what kind of man is your son? Is he just like, is he just like, well, I'm going to be here because I don't have to pay bills and do this or that? Then you're really not doing a service. If they refuse to try to go get some sort of evaluation to see, hey, why am I not? What's up? But the part that scares me is they don't have any friends. So what the whole other part too. Yeah. So I don't know.
Well, thanks, Allison.
That was not an answer. But
I know. With that, that's a wrap of it. Final parting shots. Any final things you want to say?
I think that's it.
Well, we love you guys. Thanks so much for the support as always. Every Wednesday, 5 o'clock, same bat time, same bat station. We will see you. Oh, that's it, baby. We really don't have nothing else, huh?
That's it.
You did a little peace out sign. Okay, I guess we'll play the.
Thank you all. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.